Wake up, okay, carry on. Keep that skillet good and greasy all the time, time, time. Keep that skillet good and greasy all the time. Hello, welcome. Food Notes number 17. We're so glad to be back here in Jens's kitchen, and we got something really good coming up today.
Today we're going to cook a very simple Alpine food. This is a dish that is very traditional in the Alpine regions of Bern and central Switzerland. And they have two names for it. In Bern, they would call it, in Swiss German, Ofenguck, which means it's an oven, Ofen, and Guck means a cake. So it's like an oven cake. And in the central Switzerland part, they would call it Ofentürli. That means it's like an oven door. So it's a very old dish and very simple, not too costly. And we're really looking forward to make this for you. This is delicious.
For our ingredients today, it's very simple and some of my favorite ingredients. We have a wonderful piece, about half a pound of Gruyere. Any nice tart cheese would do, but Gruyere is wonderful. And then we have about a pound of ham that Jens had cut at the deli on number 8. So you see that it's quite thick. And we're going to cut this in little cubes. We got a few eggs, little parsley.
Yeah. We got potatoes because we're going to make I like them called smashed potatoes. We're going to make mashed potatoes. So we need some potatoes. We need milk. We need nutmeg. The usual suspects, pepper, salt. We need some garlic for the tomato salad we're going to make along with it, and some balsamic vinegar and some olive oil, a little bit of aromat for the thing. Did we mention everything?
Half a cup of milk, you said that, right?
Well, yeah, it's a little bit, it's like it's 3/4 cup, I think, here. Mm-hmm. And but this is just the start, we'll see. With the potatoes and the mashed potatoes, you always have to sort of feel it out a little bit, how much milk you're going to put in. All right, I think that rounds it up. We've got to peel the potatoes. We use our peelers again. And there's two kinds, we got the stainless steel ones, and then you have the carbon ones. And the carbon ones actually, in our experience, the older they get, the better they cut sometimes, because they just stay sharp. Is a slight difference? I don't know.
Maybe the stainless ones you can put in the dishwasher. That's a big difference. But they both of them are wonderful.
But there's not much washing with them anyway, because you just have to rinse them off, and
The way we cut them, we try to get them kind of even so that they cook at the same time, like
something like that.
Inch and a half cubes like that. Okay.
Actually, I love peeling potatoes.
A good recipe starts by peeling potatoes and peeling an onion usually. And today it's going to be a garlic, and so this is going to be fun. Of course, you have to mention that you can do this with already made mashed potatoes. If you don't have the time, you can use instant or the ones that you can buy in the tub.
Can you buy that in a tub? I've never
Absolutely,
done that.
absolutely.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So is it in a tub that you can buy?
But you just have to warm it up. And so you could do it with that too. Of course, it's much more expensive. It's ridiculous.
Really?
So the little time it takes to boil the potatoes, if you have the time, saves you a lot of money.
Well, the potatoes, in the end, they take about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And so usually I let them boil for 20 minutes. And with the water, once we have them cut, I rinse them out. And then I put water in. And you don't need to actually cover the potatoes. You can, just so they barely get covered, they don't need to be deep in water. And
what kind of potatoes are these, Jens?
I can't remember. I just take the ones that look like the peel is not too thick. Mm-hmm. But I think any potato.
Yellow potatoes.
Yeah, but any potato will make a good. I never had mashed potatoes I didn't like, actually. And even if somebody says, there's a few tricks, of making the potatoes more fluffy in the end. But even, you know, even if it turns into glue, you know, I like it.
Yes. It's like, it's like Garfield with his lasagna.
Yeah. Yeah. I just rinse them, you know. It's not with the rice. You don't need to get rid of the starch or anything. You know, I just wash them a little bit. That's all. And then
I used to cook in the big kitchen, and we had some Spanish people cooking there too. And Pilar was a woman there that, and she said, when you boil the potatoes, I would just put 1 clove of garlic in there. So I sneaked that in while Jens is not watching.
it's okay. I'll put some salt in here. And, you know, with the salt, it's a thing. You know, some people say if you think it's enough, put a little bit more in, because potatoes, you know, just take a lot of salt. On the other hand, you know, we're going to put some cheese in there and some ham, and you know, I think, you know, not too much is okay. You know, so let's boil. Cut up the ham, like Uwe said. You know, I went and had it cut, you know, very thick, so I can make cubes. It can be thicker than this, actually. You know, this was on number 8. That's what she told me. You know, I said about this. You know. Look at there! Oh, Nino!
Smart dog.
He's smart, yeah. Sometimes I wish I was as smart as Nino.
He says, sometimes I wish I could play banjo.
No, I don't think so.
Well, it's kind of hard without opposing thumbs.
I'm telling you one thing. This dog heard more banjo than any other dog in the world. I would argue.
I'm doing the same thing with the cheese. First get the rind off.
This is Gruyere.
Yes.
We lived in Bern, you know, when we were kids.
We lived in Fribourg.
We lived in Fribourg, yeah. And we like Gruyere cheese because we grew up with this stuff. We lived in Tentling, which is a little town outside of Fribourg, and they had a creamery right across the street, and we would go there every evening to get fresh milk, and they would make their own Gruyere. And it was just out of this world, heavenly good.
I went to school with the son of the cheesemaker, and after school sometimes we would go down into the ripening.
Want a bigger knife for this?
Oh, it works.
Yeah, it
looks a little awkward.
Yeah, you know, we would go down,
and then they would take this boring thing where you check for the ripeness of the cheese,
stuff it in there,
and stick it in there. Take a little piece out, and then try it. And it was really warm down there, and it was beautiful. And we got to know the cheese at every stage of its ripening, and Gruyere is really fantastic cheese because it comes from these almost Alps, almost maybe 1,000 meters above sea level. Wonderful, really lush pastures that are so rich, and it really shows in the cheese. Even when it comes to America.
Well, they have.
You could actually.
And you know, the thing is, I had Gruyere made in Wisconsin, you know, when we were up there. And I think that Gruyere
was pretty good.
No, it's really good, Uwe. It's a little different, but I absolutely love it. You know,
It is a little different, exactly.
Yeah, but in
But
Wisconsin,
they brought the same cows to Wisconsin, Swiss brown, that are such
but
a...
the Gruyere is mainly the Holstein, you know, the black and white ones, you know,
Yes.
not the brown, and that makes a little bit of a different cheese, really, you know, than some of the other regions.
I also peeled 5 cloves of garlic for the tomato salad, so that's what I did in between.
Right, the ham bits, and what we're gonna do is just gonna fry them a little bit.
Brown a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, I think I'm gonna season them as well, just a little bit. So, I don't think I need oil. I just put them in this non-stick pan and just, you know, go. So what I'm going to do is, I didn't have this on the table, but I just like sage, you know, and if there's a touch of sage on the ham, I really just like that. So it looks like the ham bits, you know, they're just a little, you know, they're just a little fried, so they're done, so we can put them aside. Just going to do this dish here. So, now we have time to play some music. What do you think?
Oh yeah. What do you think?
All right.
What did you do to your banjo? It sounds different than last week. Did you change your strings or something?
No, no, absolutely not. I'm just breaking in a new pair of finger picks, and I think they sound much brighter. You like it?
Absolutely, yes.
It'll take a while until they come real fat sounding, but
I switched back from my small little picks
I'm sorry.
to this big pick again, and I got medium strings on the guitar.
Sounds great. Sounds fantastic. It sounds great. You know, like.
potatoes doing yes?
I think they're fine. Why don't we start making the
Tomato salad, yes. So you got a tomato knife, Jens? For the
I
tomato
found a
salad?
knife I never used.
Well, this is a cheese knife. This
Yes,
is not tomato
it
knife.
is a cheese knife. Now that I see it, let me look at it. Of course.
This is a tomato knife. I'm gonna slice the tomatoes. I grab my knife like this, go around the end, get that out, and then start slicing. I know you could do this quicker, but I gotta be careful with my fingers.
You know, it's we have to be careful. Not that everybody needs to be careful, but we don't want to cut our fingers. We have shows to play. You know, don't we?
Yeah,
We really do.
shows. What I really like about these knives is that you really can saw, move the knife, and it does all the work for you. You don't have to press and squeeze, and that way the tomato really gets cut really beautifully. Of course you can use a slicer or something fancy, but a knife is just easier to clean up. You see how little juice I'm actually losing? Almost nothing.
Make some little bit of sauce. You know, I never measure this. I just put some dark balsamico in here. You know. Oh.
How can you make a tomato salad without aromalt?
It's not possible.
Just when you're in Italy, yes, maybe, but not when you make a Swiss dish.
Not in Switzerland. All
A
right.
little bit of salt.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm going to press about 5 medium-sized cloves of garlic in here.
Yeah,
With a Swiss. What is it?
Garlic
Press
press.
here.
But you know-
Garlic press, yes.
it could also be 10 or 12. You know,
Or none. If you don't like garlic, but
no, garlic
really
is so
does need
wonderful.
garlic.
It's just the best, you know. And it's healthy, I heard.
now you can use this press with unpeeled garlic, but then you end up with all these peels in the garlic press itself. And this way you can use all, and it stays almost clean. Hey. To get the little garlic pieces out of this when I wash this up, all I do is I let the water on and just put it right up there and let the water pressure pretty much get rid of the whatever's in the press.
Take the lid. I take a towel, go over the lid, so I can hold it here on the side, so I don't burn my hands like that. Good. Now, so much potatoes on.
Yep. Yep.
Get the smasher.
First we melt the butter in there,
Yes.
and
Now, if you get the butter in first, and you know, mash it up good with the butter, it makes
fluffier.
it a little fluffier actually. And if you put cold milk in, sometimes it can also, you know, be a little bit more gluey that way. But the butter does something with the starch, you know, sort of
Covers it.
you know, a little bit, and you know, don't have to be too careful. I mean, it's not so so important. So put some milk in and see how are we doing. We can always add more milk.
Yes. Everybody has their own way of doing it. Of course, I just like it when it's not too much to move too much.
How does it look over?
It looks pretty good. I'm going to try a little bit after the nutmeg. That's enough.
You think it's enough?
Yep.
Nutmeg?
Yep, nutmeg. Okay.
Good. Looks good, eh? Oh, looks good. Here,
I could just,
let's try some.
let's see.
Is it good? All right. So now comes the bacon bits. But we're not gonna, not bacon. These are ham. So I'm gonna put not all of it. I keep about this much, you know, just keep it so I can put it on top. And the cheese goes in here as well.
Some of it.
Yes,
Most of it.
Most of it. Yeah, that's good with it. Perfect, perfect. So now. This looks fantastic.
Yeah, no,
Oh, this is fantastic. God.
and you know, this is a recipe you can teach your children. The earlier they learn how to cook, the more independent they will be when they get older.
I need to butter the dish a little bit. And just take a little bit of butter, and I take it with my hands, just to sort of smear it around a little bit. I know maybe that doesn't look too comforting, but it works like that. What do you think, Melissa?
I think it looks really good.
You know, people have sprays also they can put in,
But butter's better.
yeah.
Transfer the potatoes into the form. And you see if I form a ball before I take them out of the pot, It's very quick.
I think there's some left today.
Oh yeah.
He left some in there so he could lick the pot.
This looks great. See, we did it like the last time when we did the au gratin. You fill up your bowl with the potatoes, and you end up with the right amount.
It turned out to be good. You want to eat this? Okay. So now comes the part where we just make little holes like that, and you just make little holes, not too deep, but like that, kind of like that, for as many people as you are. And then we just take the eggs and put them right into this. Put a holes. Ube. Yes, we need that. So like this. And then we sprinkle the remaining bacon bits around. We have a little bit too many of the bacon bits. Ham.
Never
Yes.
too much ham, don't worry.
Mm-hmm. It's too much.
No, just put it on there.
Okay.
It will melt into the
You
potatoes.
think so?
Yeah.
Into the eggs? I made a mess, Uwe. I made a mess.
No, it's
I made a
wonderful.
mess. It's in the egg.
And a little bit of the cheese
Yes.
we had left.
I made such a mess. Look at this. It could look much nicer, to tell you the truth. But
It'll look great when it's done, Jens. Don't worry.
you think so?
Yep.
Okay, good. Thank you. Now let's just stick it in the oven. And 15 minutes is enough, usually.
What temperature you got on the oven?
It's got 350.
Okay.
So let's see.
We got time for a song, right?
Yeah, we do. Let's do a traditional tune of the Carter family that we looked on. We looked at before. We looked at different tunes, but I think that one I would really like to do. Foggy Mountain Top.
I haven't sung it for so long.
No.
Flat and Scruggs used to be over here in Ferguson, right?
Well, yeah, in the very beginning, right? When Earl Scruggs had to take his out time, because he overworked, coming back home, supporting his mom, and he took some time off, to the cabin. And in Ferguson, he would stay for a while, and Lester Flatt would come visit him, and actually Jim Eanes, would come by frequently, and also Jim Shoemate. And so
Jim Shoemate. You remember when Jim Shoemate came by the house at Robert's house?
at 5 o'clock in the morning, and he was ready to play.
Yes.
And so the first thing,
That was amazing.
And Jim Shoemate was fiddler. He's the uncle of Maynard Holbrook, who used to sing with us a lot. And he played on, I think, Kevin and Caroline. I think the original cut fiddle. He was a bluesy kind of fiddler. He was a tough man. He was really.
By the time we met him, he was in his 80s away, right?
No, I think,
Yeah.
mid-70s, 80s, yes, you're right. And he would come and he would sit there with his fiddle, had his suit on, and he would wait, for us to come. And we got up, and Robert said, get up, there's somebody want to play fiddle with you. And so we got up, literally 5:30 or something. And we just grabbed a cup of coffee, we sat down, and he wanted to play as fast as possible, Foggy Mountain Breakdown. All the
Cabin
things.
in the Hills of Caroline, all those songs.
He was awesome, and he recorded a few albums, with Eric Ellis here from town, a great banjo player. And like I said, Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs, they lived around here. They played radio stations, and they played the Foggy Mountain Top, the Carter family song a lot, and that's why they ended up calling their because they would call into the radio and say, "Can we hear these people play Foggy Mountain Top again?" So they said, "Well, it's the Foggy Mountain Boys."
That's right.
Want to kick it off?
Yeah. If I was on some foggy mountain top, I'd sail away to the woods. I'd sail all around this whole wide world to the girl I love the best. If I had listened to what today. Laying around this old jailhouse, wasting my poor life away. If I was on some foggy mountain top, I'd sail away to the west. I'd sail around this whole wide world to the girl I love the best. She calls me to weep and she calls me to mourn. She calls me to leave my home. The lonesome pines and good old times, I'm on my way back home. If I was on some foggy mountain top, I'd sail away to the west. I'd sail all around this whole wide world to the girl I love has been mine. I'd sail all around this whole wide world to the girl I love the best. That's a beautiful tune.
It is.
Yes, I hear something, sounds coming from me.
I know, we have to
all
check
of them. So here, we'll check
Yes.
check my favorite way of making eggs.
I had them in for about 15 minutes, and now I'm gonna put it on. Everything's now nice and hot, and I'm just gonna put it on broil for a little while, so we get it a little, so everything can melt properly on top.
Let's check.
Oh, look at this! Whoa. Now it's ready. It's ready. It doesn't get any more ready than this.
Smell-o-vision.
Put a little parsley on it. Just makes it look good, actually. You get a little bit in your mouth to taste.
So this really looks like some good Swiss comfort food.
It is really, you can really imagine farmers and kids, sitting around, and families eating this.
That's good. That's really good.
Is it?
Yeah. Why?
And how do we say in Switzerland?
Gute miteinander.
Very good. Try it.
Yes, that was a wonderful, wonderful little thing that we did here today.
I can't wait. I'm hungry now.
Me
really.
too. No breakfast.
It smells so good in this kitchen.
Is this sort of like it's almost like a Swiss carbonara. Instead of the pancetta, we have ham, and then we have egg. We have almost the
It
ingredients.
could be like a Swiss carbonara or a Swiss shepherd's pie.
Yes. Not a shepherd, but a cow.
A cow.
A cowboy.
A cowboy.
Swiss cowboy pie.
Well, you get the point. You all take care.
Bye-bye.